Dustin was stunned by Dahlia's hurtful words and furious outburst. Drops of wine rolled down his cheeks and to the ground. He was in a miserable state. Apparently, it was wishful thinking that their relationship had improved. In actual fact, there was nothing left between them. What? So you thought that I was falsely accusing him? Dustin's brows were deeply furrowed as he stared at Dahlia. Am I that despicable of a person in your eyes?
Yes,
Dahlia blurted out. She felt a tinge of regret immediately. Yet, she could not take her words back now. She had too much pride for that. Finally, you have spoken what you truly thought of me. Dustin had a disappointed look on his face as he put on a wry smile. I have overstepped my boundaries. Who knew that after so many years, you still have feelings for Matt? What nonsense are you spouting? Dahlia frowned as well. Am I wrong? You said that you would not contact him anymore. Having said that, here you are having wine with Matt. Aren't you being too hypocritical? Dahlia was about to explain herself when Dustin interrupted her. Maybe you aren't even worried about Matt drugging your drink. In actuality, you hoped that he would do so as this would give both of you a legitimate excuse to get together again. Am I correct? It was Dahlia's turn to be stunned by Dustin's words. Her face was a mix of disbelief, disappointment, and regret. Never would she have thought that Dustin would say such words. Did he genuinely think so lowly of her? Regardless of the past 3 years of marriage, there wasn't a shred of trust left between them. Dustin, I'm utterly disappointed in you. Dahlia gritted her teeth. As she walked away, she struggled to control her emotions. Dustin stood rooted to the ground. He could feel the anger and hurt washing over him. At this moment, Matt came over. The charming smile that had been on his face just now was replaced by a smirk. Dustin, everything you said was correct. I spiked Dahlia's drink and drank her wine to get rid of the evidence. I already took the antidote in advance, Matt whispered into his ear coldly. Nevertheless, it doesn't matter anyway. Who would believe you now? Dahlia's smitten with me, and she will support me. There's nothing you say that would change the outcome. What? Are you burning with anger and frustration right now? Sadly, your hands are tied. Besides, I have to thank you for strengthening our relationship with this incident. I believe that she will fall in love with me before long and willingly go to bed with me. However, don't worry. Once I'm tired of her, I'll return her to you soon enough. With this, Matt threw his head back and cackled maliciously. His true colors were finally revealed. Compared to his gentlemanly disposition earlier, this side of him was cruel and sinister like a venomous snake. Burning with anger, Dustin cracked his knuckles to prevent himself from punching Matt in the face as he left. Dahlia was obviously still in love with Matt. Even if his intentions were good, Dahlia had no need for his help. Since his actions would only be seen as a hindrance, there was nothing he could do. Although Dustin could convince himself logically, he couldn't help but be aggravated by their relationship. Mr. Rhys, what's happened? At that moment, Natasha and Dwayne walked out of their booth. Forget it. I was just poking my nose where it didn't belong. Dustin said mockingly. Matt is notorious for sowing discord and stirring up trouble. Don't be affected by him, Dwayne continued. The main problem is not with Matt but with Dahlia. Dustin shook his head. It would be useless to change her mind if she continued to be obstinate. Dustin, don't be hung up over a woman. It's no big deal, women are easy to find, Dwayne said confidently. As long as you are rich, women will flock to you. So, shall we get down to business? What business? Dustin asked with a tilt of his head. Of course it's about the Gemafen. Dwayne smirked. I've personally tried the miracle pill. A single pill could be worth a fortune. Since you are in need of herbs, why don't we work together? I'll deal with the rest of the business if you give me the prescription. Once I make a profit, we will split it evenly. What do you think? I'm not changing my mind. I don't mind helping you out, but you have to give me some rare herbs in exchange for the prescription. Otherwise, it's a no. Dustin shook his head again. Dustin, it will be some time before I get my hands on the herbs you want. Can't you be more flexible? Dwayne pleaded. Let's talk about this after you have them in your possession. Dustin was immovable. Dwayne frowned when he heard the resolve in Dustin's tone. This young man was as stubborn as a mule. Initially, he wanted to start a mutual partnership with Dustin. However, it wasn't going as smoothly as he thought. It seemed like he needed to pull out some of the tricks up his sleeve.
Ms. Harmon, there's bad news.
A bodyguard dressed in a suit ran into the restaurant hurriedly.
Yes? What is it?
Natasha asked, surprised.
It's Ms. Ruth. She has been kidnapped.
The bodyguard reported.
What did you say?
Natasha's expression turned dark. Didn't I instruct you to protect her at all costs?
How could this happen?
We were keeping an eye on her in secret. However, Ms. Ruth managed to escape and went to a private party. By the time we arrived, she was nowhere to be found.
Do you know who is behind this?
Natasha frowned. It could be Sir Hummer. The kidnappers left a ransom note instructing Mr. Rhys and you to meet at Hummer Villa.
Edwin?
Natasha gritted her teeth in anger. How dare he endanger a member of her family? He had gone too far with the repeated provocations and needed to be taught a lesson. Contact the Harmon family. I need some strong fighters as backup.
Since Edwin seeks a light, I shall give it to him.